if the fundamental issue regarding the establishment of the United States was how much power to put into the federal government, then that issue gets transformed during the era of the settlement of the new nation, the establishment of the new nation, during the 1790s, into an issue of how political parties were formed. Again, nothing in the Constitution, nothing in the remotest imagination of the founders would be that there would be political parties formed during the infancy of the nation. And yet, within 10 years, we have political parties as a mainstay of American politics and American governmental operation. How did they come about? Now, there's two aspects to that. Part one will be domestic politics. The domestic political situation engendered, created, and fostered the development of political parties. And foreign affairs also at that same time created a situation domestically in the United States where political parties seemed the best way to handle foreign policy. Let's start with the several factors that determined the development of political parties. Now, one, no one wanted party. Everyone was nonpartisan. And the first president of the United States, George Washington, best represented that nonpartisan, that common good, the virtuous America, represented by George Washington himself. Extraordinarily important for the establishment of the American governmental and political system is how he handled his first administration. And think of the issues. Do we deal with the president as individuals dealing with him as somebody different from the rest of us? We are an egalitarian nation, yet we want to give more power and prestige to that presidency. So if you look and analyze the George Washington administration, you see an administration that brilliantly and perfectly navigates that course between a more powerful individual, yet a person who is of the people. And in everything Washington did, he perfectly presented the president as a position of power, yet one of us as well. It was on another issue, however, that we see the dynamic of political parties being created. And that was Alexander Hamilton, as Secretary of the Treasury, promoting an economic system. And there are three pillars to this economic system. The three pillars of economic system, number one is the assumption of debt. Every bit of debt that Alexander Hamilton could find, be it at a state level, at a federal level, or at any level, he assumed it all for the federal government. The federal government took on every debt obligation there was extant in America at the time. And he did it, making many people happy, many states happy that had large debts around. He said, we will fund at par, at full value, all of the federal debt. That's pillar number one. Why would he do that? Because it makes money. Bankers are going to get paid on their money, and those rich people will have money with which to invest in the country. Plus, the United States of America is going to be a powerful, important institution to have survive. People want their debts paid back. Thus, he creates a more powerful federal government and makes money for rich people, as he does with the tariff. Where is the federal government going to get money from? Immediately, Alexander Hamilton proposes an 8% tariff on imported goods. Now, it's important to recognize what that tariff is. That makes every imported good 8 cents more expensive on the dollar. That 8 cents goes to the federal government. And what does that allow a domestic manufacturer of the same product able to do? Charge 7 cents more on that dollar for his product. People still buy American. American manufacturer, that infant industry, is making 7 cents more. Alexander Hamilton's tariff makes rich people richer, gives power to the federal government. Now, where are we going to house that money? Where is that money from the tariff revenue physically going to be? It's going to be housed in the Bank of the United States. Again, a quasi-governmental agency, making the federal government more power, with its hands on federal government monies that it can lend out to spur economic activity. But this is where the kind of the rub was. Because there are certain people that looked at the federal Constitution, at the Constitution that was created in 1787,